Okay, now next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this target balloon into a prefab object. And then we're going to start to set it up so that we can use it in our projectile, causing it to explode. So I'm going to select my prefab folder down here in the project panel so I can see all my prefabs. I'm sure I got a lot now. I will drag the target balloon and drop it into the prefab folder and make it an original prefab. And now it's become a prefab. That's great. Notice here that the object consists of an empty game object for its parent. This is just an empty game object. All it has is a transform. And all the individual pieces, our body, our four fins, our nose, and our rear. So on the parent object, we're going to add a capsule collider. So let's see, I typed CA. I'm going to select capsule collider. And I'm going to open this capsule collider up and click on this for editing purposes. And you're going to see that the capsule collider is not at the right size. Let me run the height up a little bit. And let's see. That's about the right height, but we're not on the right axis. I think we should be on not the Z-axis, the X-axis. Okay, so now I've got that lining up pretty good, but still the radius is a little on the small side. Now we're getting a little bit closer to the size that I'm looking for. And then there is a problem with its offset. Let's see here. I want to offset it in X. That's going to move it like right back up there. Let me increase the height. Yeah. And then offset it just a little bit more. And if I put that in a nice, hard, orthographic view, let me push the height. Yeah, the height is poking out of both sides now. So if I made this negative 1.75, pretty good. And if I made the height here like 5.5, also looking pretty good. And I'm going to drop the radius down to 0.8. That's good. All right, so you may have to adjust these parameters on your collider if you happen to have made some scales a little bit different than the scales that I'm using. So that gets the collider set up. I'm going to get back in perspective here. And now that I've got the collider set up, I can go ahead and collapse this collider. The next component we're going to need to add is a rigid body. And our settings for the rigid body, we're going to give our rigid body a mass of 5. We're going to set the angular drag to 0 and the drag to 0, and we're going to uncheck gravity. We do not want gravity to be affected. And we're going to set the interpolation to interpolate. So got a rigid body, mass of 5, drag of 0, angular drag of 0, turn off gravity, interpolation set to interpolate. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to be grabbing a script. Now, let's see. This script. You're going to find that on your fourth block game design in your individual class, you're going to find links to a breakable script and an explosive script. I'm going to have to fix that. Now, like I was saying, when you get to your proper class, you're going to find there's a script called breakable.cs and a script called explosive.cs. You're going to need to download these scripts. This is going to involve, clicking the script, clicking the 3 dots, getting to that download button so you can download it, and then clicking on that next script, explosive script, clicking on the 3 dots, opening a new window, click on the download button to download it. And that will download both scripts into your downloads folder. I'm going to go get those 2 scripts. I'm going to cut them, Control X, and I'm going to navigate to there's my Flyer Fourth, my Assets folder, my Scripts folder. And in my Script folder, I'm going to paste them, my breakable script and my explosive script. Now, back in my project, I'm going to see here that Unity is going to pick up on that fact, that I just put those 2 scripts inside my script folder. There they are. They just appeared in my script folder. So back on my target balloon here, I would like to take the breakable script and I want to drag it and drop it onto the target balloon. Now at the moment we don't have a replacement object set up. We'll go with the brake force of 2 and the collision multiplier of 100. And we're going to click over here on our overrides, apply all, so that all of the overrides get applied to our target balloon. And then we should see that, look at my plane here, let me move it up in the air just a little bit. Let me make sure that if I look at this from the side view, yeah, definitely. My projectile is going to be blazasting into the side of the balloon. Let me see what happens when I hit this thing. Pew! Ooh. Well, we made something happen. There it goes. So you'll know you did something right if when you shoot it, the balloon responds. Okay, because at the moment we did set it up to, it's got a rigid body, and that projectile we fired has mass, and it also has a rigid body. And when we hit those colliders, well, stuff happened. There goes our balloon flying off. All right, well, that's going to finish this stage. Next, we're going to set up our balloon to break into pieces and actually explode. All right, see you in the next video.